Hola, ¿qué tal Barcelona? Bienvenidos al torneo de 1 contra 1. Y en el lado azul tiene ojos de sueco, manos de coreano, pero es murciano. Hacho es de Murcia. xPeke.
And in the other corner, his opponent. It's the GPL's all-star support. The women love him and the men, they want to play like him. It's RonOP! All right, gentlemen, only one man can advance to the next round. Good luck.
Hello, everybody. Crepo's still here. First day I had the Fistio.
Can't get rid of you.
Up and up. Got Zareen. Even better right now, Azale.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I love some 1v1s myself, and very excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I hope the crowd noise can be picked up right now because the entire crowd is chanting xPeke again. You saw him go for the little cheeky, let's just get rid of my headset real quick to hear my name being chanted, and now he's getting ready for another 1v1, this time against the support. So technically, should be easy.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen things go the way that they're expected to, though. We saw, pretty easy first match for Faker. Oh, guess not. Pretty easy first match there for Bjergsen. Guess not. So we'll have to see, because the GPL guys are very prepared for the 1v1s. They've actually been smashing across the board in the fun modes and the 1v1s, because they talk about how much they love to do this after their scrims. They're 1v1ing. They're playing these other modes because that's kind of their love.
So yeah, you get people that prepare for the tournament. On the other side, you have somebody like Jankos who goes up against one of the best players in the world, decides to play a champion he's never played before, and is then surprised that he loses.
Hey man, you gotta check those boxes. He's like, I never played it before. If I play one game, easy peasy, you know?
It's only in Korean. Anyways, we're back into game here, guys. For the first 1v1, it is again xPeke versus RonOP. Pretty standard ban so far.
Yeah, definitely. And like they talked about on the desk, we haven't really seen Nasus. We haven't seen anyone kind of cheese it out and try to go for the 100 CS. Yeah. I'll be interested to see if people are still going to just go for kills, or if people are going to be willing to kind of play the more lame way, or whatever you want to call it, and just farm it out.
I think the resurgence of like a Darius and Olaf is being seen here, though, for people who feel just individually weaker. Yeah. They just kind of take the shotgun approach. One round in the shell and just go, and hopefully you win. If not, you get kited and you lose.
Yeah, and it works really well, because a lot of those champions, you get a couple levels and you can all in. It's super effective. So even with some pretty shaky execution here or there, we've seen people get like, what, 20 HP away from getting wins?
Yeah, 1v1s have been ending very closely. I was looking at what other farm champions there could be as well, because initially I was like, Nasus what can do the same thing. I thought about Heimerdinger on cast yesterday. I didn't hear like any like negative points, and then somebody tweets at me, he's like, bro, you know like turrets count for CS, right? And I'm like, oh. Yeah, maybe it's not the best idea.
Lowy's off the board, Heimerdinger off the board. Yeah. Farming tentacles, but yeah, there definitely are some. I guess we wouldn't really want to use Malzahar then either.
Yeah, because the Voidlings especially, yeah. You need perfect CS to keep up. Hopefully somebody told RonOP this. He won't actually lock in the Heimer.
Hey, I mean, none of them have gone to CS yet, right? Maybe you can get a kill, maybe you can get an all-in. Heimerdinger's alt rockets are actually a ridiculous amount of damage.
Insanely strong.
Yeah, people underestimate that, but if you can land a stun and get a full connection, you will kill that guy. xPeke.
Yeah, if you're just joining, by the way, guys, xPeke played a mean Garen earlier. His build left a little bit too desired, but got the double kill.
If you can kill Faker, you can kill RonOP, so maybe he'll go with that Garen.
It is Cassiopeia versus Draven. All right, that definitely needs an exhaust if you're xPeke. You do not want this Draven coming at you.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty scary. I'll be interested to see how this goes, because Cassiopeia actually has a ridiculous strong, even level 2. Like, if you can hit your Q, you can just go for all-ins very early. The problem with this champion becomes mana. You run out of mana very easily, and that's why you need the tier. You need these kind of builds, and in a straight-up 1v1, that's not the kind of item you want. So Peke, I think, is really going to have to choose his moment and dump the mana there and win the fight there.
This may be one of those games where it's better that you pull the wave backwards on the first wave. You just let them push, then bounce, and then kind of the same thing Mala did versus Faker. You kind of ride the wave into the trade, then go for like a level 3 all-in with a full mana pool, because otherwise, again, just like you said, you're just going to run out of mana.
Yeah, and it's also kind of decision-making here. How much mana are you willing to spend on the creeps, on CSing and stuff? And none of it has gone to 100 CS, and if you go low on mana, the Draven can keep pushing you in, make you stay around, and they can go for that sort of CS win. So it's definitely a lot of back and forth.
And at the side of RonOP, he's basically looking for Peke to do a bad Q. You know, that's where he's aiming for both creeps and RonOP himself. The second that happens, takes that axe, throws it in the face, and just wants to keep, you know, chain hitting them in Peke's face.
Yeah, he certainly does. And it's also one of those things where he can almost play it a little bit like kind of those mana wins. You know, we've seen Tom Kench kind of do a similar thing. This is obviously a very different version, but assuming he is playing Warlords, assuming he is going to have that much lifesteal, if you can make Peke spend a lot of his mana, it'll be interesting.
RonOP, according to this, is right now playing Thunderlords on Draven.
Oh, wow.
That's actually going for an early all-in pretty much, basically saying, you know, level 3, level 4, going to use that Thunderlord's damage. Going to check what xPeke is running.
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
He's also running very heavy attack speed on his runes. So he's pretty much running a standard 80 page with magic resistance on his blues, on his glyphs, and then for the rest he's running pretty much standard. xPeke, on the other hand, magic pen, health, and flat ability power. So he's just pretty much going all in. He doesn't really run any armor himself. Just selects for the only defensive stat in his kit being that health, also running the Thunderlords.
Yeah, and Peke is going to start E here first. Some people do like to start Q to try to kind of get some poke there, but obviously the E helps you CS a lot, and it is pretty cheap.
Yeah, definitely really cheap. Doesn't want to waste too much Q since he's going to be yielding the push anyways. RonOP in a good spot. Peke keeping equal. I think equal is fine for him. RonOP's not over pushing, just playing with a single axe right now.
And it is going to be scary. I mean, the first time Peke hits level 2, if RonOP is in a bad position, you could look to see Peke go for an all-in, because I do think if he hits his Qs, he probably could win it.
I mean, there's no better indicator of where you have to pop your Q than playing against the Draven. Like, the game literally spells it out.
Oh, there he hit it. Okay. RonOP, so that's actually pretty smart. RonOP levels up his W second to try to be able to back off when he does get hit by that Q instead of the E. So I do like the adaptation, but Peke's low on mana. Oh, he's going for it.
Ignite. Reset. RonOP has continuous damage, but Peke's...
He zoom.
One more axe is not enough, so it's at least 2. Peke's under his turret. RonOP's pushing, so we're waiting for the relics. Peke regretting that early E usage, even on the creeps. Even at 90% mana, you just really need to keep more gas left in the tank, and now RonOP can challenge the relic.
Yeah, and RonOP does take the relic away, which is actually really big for him. We talked about how problematic mana is for Peke, and at this point, I feel like he has to try to just get enough gold to have a decent back, and then wait it out, because he has summoner disadvantage, he has mana disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely all true, but at level 6, he gets an ulti with slightly more impact in these direct trades. Very hard for Draven to kind of dodge that ulti damage since it's 50-50, whereas Peke can dodge half of the ulti from RonOP. Ron right now dancing on the edge of the turret range. Want to harass. Mild Celestity.
Yeah. I do think Peke will have a chance to try to go for that, but at this point, I think you have to play it smart. You have to just try to wait it out for your summoners. You don't want to do a desperate all-in. It's so far away from actually getting to a CS win that you can kind of take your time. And he's going to grab double Dorans. That is going to kind of help him. I don't see him ever going a tier. If I were Peke, if he builds another item, maybe even a Seekers or something like that, could make a lot of sense.
Just some early armor to stop the kind of one-dimensional damage from the Draven coming out as well. He is back very quick. He had a good base timing there. He cancels. What? That was just short.
That was so close.
I feel like if you have Q, it's a quicker animation. I think the throw animation of W is a little bit slower there.
Yeah, and that would have actually been really big, stopping this buy, because RonOP had the extra CS. He gets the longsword on top of the double Doran, so he has the extra 350 gold in effective combat stats.
Yeah, but Peke has control over his side at least now, equals out rather the relic steal, so things not looking as grim anymore.
No, they certainly are, and as you said, 6 could be the time that we see him go for this. And I think, to your point earlier about picking up some early armor, but the fact that he has none in his runes kind of makes it that much more important.
Yeah, and also remember that if Peke goes at 5, he can easily win that trade. Draven doesn't get that much more damage anyways, and he was winning the trade earlier, up until the point where he ran out of mana.
But he is down a summoner spell now, so that is something that he has to keep in mind, and maybe what kind of holds him back from going for it. But we could definitely see that be the case.
All right, Peke, save your mana. Already dancing around the half point. Every time he lands the CS, obviously the Dorans is going to help him loads, but yeah, pokes are being wasted here.
I honestly feel like, especially if you are going to wait for the summoners, don't even bother trying for the Qs that much because he doesn't have enough mana to win this all in here. He has to now base probably again.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. When you're throwing out those Qs, what are you going to do if you hit it? And if you're not going to kill the guy, he's going to lifesteal back to full and you're wasting your mana.
Luckily for him, RonOP is running Thunderlords, not Warlords, so the sustain battle isn't as fierce. But right there, the W from xPeke. He's so used to having these kind of mid lane patterns in his play that he's not used to.
Yeah,
Have to use so much mana going for the all-in.
Exactly, and it's not the kind of trading you're used to. With double Dorans, with the lifesteal masteries, it's still a lot. And that, in addition to the fact that you're playing against, you're not playing against another mage, right? And you're not playing with a tier here on Cassiopeia.
You're so used to getting higher levels. Peke is level 6 right now, but again, we keep harping on it. The mana is the limiting factor right now.
Yeah, I think, honestly, at this point, he doesn't have enough mana for an all-in, so he just has to farm to another decent item breakpoint. Base, he comes back with his summoners, with his new item, and he looks for that all-in, but we'll see if he disagrees.
Yeah, alternatively, you can drop CS while he regains mana and just goes for the all-in.
Yeah, that's
Draven is pretty squishy, and you know he might just return to base and pick up a null magic. Super efficient early on.
Yeah, certainly. And if it goes too long, if he gets a Hex Drinker, that can be pretty devastating for that all-in. But
we'll need to see a lot of micro-hitting from Ron because he needs to juke the ulti from xPeke and pick up his axes at the same time, keep them flowing, and dodge the damage, hopefully sidestep a Q. It is so mechanically intensive for a support player.
yeah, and the summoner disadvantage is no longer there. So Peke has everything available. It's just a matter of mana, but this to me tells me he's kind of basing. He's going to base for sure. You don't dump your mana like that if you're not. So he is going to be able to just kind of push this out, grab the CS, and he does have a 1,400 gold, so he could go grab a Seekers. He could go for a more aggressive option if he's worried about not having the damage.
Oh,
that is really good.
Max Wings. These guys, man, they play pro for so long, but they still have that greedy base kind of embedded in their playstyle. Ron right now suffering from being a Draven who's trying to push. Juggling those axes?
Yeah. No matter how good you get, you could always still have things to improve on. You can always still have bad tendencies. I mean, I always think it's kind of a fun example to look at Shaq in NBA, how bad he was at free throws, right? This guy is a legend, and he still can't shoot one of the most simple shots in basketball.
Yeah, but if you have enough to make up for it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, yeah. See, I might base in the right place, Screpo, but, you know, the rest of it leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yep. What is your strength? I'm really good at basing.
I'm fantastic at basing.
I
communicate well with pings.
Yep.
That's all I got. That's all I got
Watch the minimap a lot, especially when I'm dead.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're about to see action here because nobody wants to play the CS game.
Yeah.
That's a good opener now. If you have the
Catalyst.
mana to spare, opening with W allows you to chain your spells.
What do you think about the Catalyst purchase here? This is pretty interesting. So this does give him more sustain, and it gives him some tankiness from the HP and the mana, but he may just look for the all-in here.
Yeah, he's going. I think this is the approach of the Catalyst. He knows he'll never finish an all-in because the Draven will release it. However, now with the Catalyst, every level up, he'll actually have enough mana left to go for the second all-in.
And this is actually pretty interesting because even if he can't all-in RonOP, with enough regen, he can push him back and win on CS.
Yes,
because he is actually up 5 CS now. And especially, he's actually zoning him off pretty well with the miasma there. And I think this is actually a really intelligent adaptation for Peke, who's kind of saying RonOP is too smart to die to that all-in. But is he?
I mean, he has to fight back right now. This is the pressure that is forcing RonOP forward right now because Peke, with the zone and the kind of the implication of a secondary all-in, is now winning on CS. There's about 24 CS to go before Peke just wins the game on 100.
Yeah, and if he forces that all in, if RonOP has to engage into the cast, it gives you a super easy ultimate, and that's going to be lights out.
Yeah, at this point, Ron may just want to base and go for an all-in because I don't think he has what it takes in his kit to deal. Peke's going low on mana again, though. This may be the crucial fight.
Oh, he
Peke
got
stuns him. That's it. It's over. Peke low on mana, but just one more auto should be enough.
Oh, the E! He got him! Peke in front of the whole crowd.
Representing Spain here in Oslos, but it was so close. An additional Q being used on the wave just earlier. It just shows you how important mana is on this Cassiopeia for all-ins.
That has to feel so good for Peke. The sold-out crowd all behind him here. That's not a moment you soon forget, and everyone is hoping that this guy keeps going further.
I mean, especially in 1v1s. It's kind of tacky when, like, everybody starts cheering your name in a team because you feel kind of bad for your team. But when you're playing a 1v1...
Ooh, but do you, though?
No, you don't, actually.
You love that.
But yeah, look right here. It's so low. If there's like a Warlord's Draven here, there's a world where this gets turned around upside down.
Yeah.
But the second, like, the last E came up, the mana enough, and RonOP knows maybe it was better going Warlords.
Yeah, I think the Thunderlords was kind of questionable. I don't really think that it worked out very well. It's like, especially if you're not able to go for a straight up all-in, what's the point of it? I think that kind of trading your life for Peke's mana with Warlords makes more sense.
So much more
and you can kind of grind him down that way.
Hindsight, though.
Hindsight's 2020.
Because we weren't as sure about it when we came into the Yeah.
game,
game, because we could have easily made that statement too. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Thunderlords.
Yeah, and especially if he was able to kill Peke early on when Peke oomed with the extra Thunderlords or something, you know,
Yeah, you never know.
It's hard to see, and we talk about how much these guys actually play the 1v1s, so maybe he's actually experimented with it.
Yeah, but it does confirm that actually sustain is a concept that needs more insights and research.
Yeah.
But the Catalyst kind of came out of left field. Usually you always think about 1v1, what do we want? Like raw stats, raw power in a single exchange. But xPeke took a different approach, went for more sustain and said, you know what, I'm going to win small trades on my terms, put you away from the wave, and then zone, as you were pointing out, under turret, RonOP was dropping so much CS.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the really cool things about 1v1s because there is so much flexibility. You don't have to play a standard way. You can kind of suit it to your playstyle. Pick the right champion, pick the right rune and mastery setup to fit that strategy.
If you're bad, you play Darius and Olaf. If you have mechanics, you play 80 carries, and if you're just
and
mid
you
laner,
take Ghost
mages.
against Renekton.
Yeah. If you're really bad and you like eyeliner, you play Ghost against Renekton. Yeah. Hopefully no more of that today.
No more Ghost Renekton?
No more Ghost versus Renekton, and hopefully no more quick shot.
You know what would be the ultimate, though, is we get all the way to the finals, and they recreate that 1v1.
The second is actually a best of 3 extended over the days. Anyways, guys, that's enough from us. So let's go back to stage. Ibai is ready to announce the next.